one.
This next one is from Bianca Lachaud. For transparency, can we have demographic data published monthly on those arrested or pulled over from the police department? That's it.
Thank you. The next comment comes from Zakaya Burgess. She writes, I am an African-American female who was pulled over by Hercules Police for no reason. I was driving a Honda Accord with tinted windows, and they told me they had reports of a stolen car. So does that mean you pull every Honda Accord over, or do you have a license plate number to go off of? Can you please bring that up in the meeting? The night I was wearing a hoodie because my hair wasn't done, and I think I was being profiled because of the clothes that I had on the color of my skin and the car I was driving. And that concludes that comment.
The next comment is from Claudette Bell Jones. I would like to express and bring awareness to the conduct of the Hercules Police when it comes to serving Black families in our community. The chief's letter of commitment to equality that was not the case for my loved ones and or my friends experiencing that are subject to harassment and profiling. A few examples: stopped and harassment. My pregnant daughter-in-law came to my home demanding IDs from the Black males without explanation. We refused, including an injury while I was parked and sitting in my car in front of my house. The Hercules Police is known to the Black and Brown community as ruthless and mean-spirited. I live on a block with several retired policemen, including my husband, who gave very negative opinions of Hercules' conduct. A scorecard is a great idea for making a change if we're serious for change. That concludes that comment.
Okay, the next comment comes from Sonia Ramos. As a resident of Hercules, I am respectfully requesting a discussion around police practices. Personally, I feel fortunate that I have had only respectful, polite, and appropriate interactions with the Hercules Police. However, with the tremendous upheaval in our country due to the use of excessive force and even murder by some rogue cops, I find it would be in our best interest to have honest and open discussions so we can be proactive and work together for a safer community. As a mother of two Latino children, I find myself wondering when they are old enough to drive, if they too will be treated with dignity and respect. I can't help but to worry, but I know that our police department is responsive, and I want all my neighbors, especially my African-American neighbors, to feel safe and respected by the police as I do. Thank you for your time and consideration. And that concludes that comment.
The next comment is from Giorgio Constantino. In recent years across the country, we have all seen in the news African-American civilians killed by police officers. In some cases, the officers have been charged with murder. I'm very concerned for the safety of African-Americans and all other civilians, and also the safety of our men and women police officers, and the safety of our nation as a whole as a result of these incidents. Members of my family have served as officers, both PD and FBI. My uncle, a Chicago officer for 40 years, wanted to change to the profession to prevent the hiring of those unfit to wear the badge. For this reason, I am requesting that our own department be part of regularly published review process. For example, the police scorecard report found at policescorecard.org. This review process assesses policies adopted to limit use of force, civilian complaints, policies impeding accountability, acts of police discrimination, excessive use of force, department staffing turnover, officer experience, and much more. Such a process will help garner the necessary resources to address any shortcomings, if any, for our department. This process will also help protect the trust between the department and the citizens it serves. My request does not imply that there's anything amiss with our department. Thank you for giving this your attention. Respectfully submitted, Giorgio Constantino, Hercules resident.
Thank you. The next public comment comes from Tamika Harris. And she writes, good evening. I hope this email finds you well. I was asked to write a letter as a community member of Victoria by the Bay. I have lived here for over 16 years. I actually enjoy living here. I'm raising a small family here, and I have great friends here. Due to the recent horrific events involving law enforcement all over the U.S., I wanted to share my personal interactions with our local PD here in Hercules. I have been pulled over a few times for minor, if not unnecessary reasons. I was once pulled over for having brand new paper plates on my brand new vehicle. When I told the officer I had just purchased the car, the response from him was, "Are your new plates coming soon?" I told him as soon as DMV released them, I'd have them in my possession and I would put them on my vehicle. The officer continued to interrogate me about my plates. He took my driver's license and ran my name. I'm sure he saw that I had nothing on my record and that I was an actual Hercules resident. He continued to hold me and interrogate me about my paper plates. It was as if my answer wasn't good enough. I left the scene pretty upset over something I had no control over. Plates come when they come. I had current registration for the car and proof of insurance, and he still drilled me about when the plates were coming. Now, why can't I have the pleasure of enjoying my paper plates? Is it a crime to ride around in a brand new registered car waiting on plates? I'm sure I know the answer is no. Second incident, I was getting off of the Willow exit around 8:30 a.m. after dropping my daughter off to school on a school day. I saw the officer get behind me. He followed me off the Willow exit. I turned right, he turned right. I proceeded up Willow, and so did he. I got in the turning lane to turn left on San Pablo, and so did the officer. As I proceeded up the hill and was close to turning onto Victoria by the Bay, he finally turned his lights on me. By this time, I am scared and nervous because he made it obvious that he was following me. He approached my window and asked me, did I know why he had pulled me over? I told him no. He said my brake light was out. I was pissed. He had caused me fear and anxiety over my brake light being out. He asked me for my driver's license and registration. When I told him it would take me a couple of minutes to pull up my car insurance from the phone, he seemed annoyed. He said, never mind, and took my driver's license to be ran inside his car. He came back to the car and told me to go into the AutoZone to fix my light. Again, not a positive interaction. He could have pulled on the side of my vehicle and let me know my light was out. I honestly didn't know. Instead, the officer tailed me for quite some ways before finally pulling me over 2 minutes from my home. I'm a great law-abiding citizen. My household obeys the laws of the city, and I respect everyone. I think we all deserve civil respect. I felt harassed in both incidents. I wasn't putting anyone in any immediate danger, and yet I felt afraid that I had done something wrong. Tell me, does any of this seem necessary or justified? I want to feel safe. I want to believe my tax dollars that pay for our local law enforcement is used in a way to train these officers to serve and protect. And I'm sorry, that's the end of the 3 minutes right there. So that concludes the comment.
You're muted.
Sorry about that. That is the last public comment that I have for this item, unless Christopher has any more.
I think he has one, but he's muted.
Oh,
Sorry, I do have one more. My apologies for Josephine Olivia now is the name, I believe. Hello, I've been involved in a neighborhood blog which talks about a review of our police department. I believe this is a good idea. I also believe this is an important time for our community to be active participants in the dialogue we have with our police department. I would suggest that a volunteer board be assembled to review any complaints filed with Hercules PD. The volunteer board would be responsible to review the complaints and work with HPD on a resolution. Maybe there would be more training needed that would result in a positive community relations. I think this is the first step in creating transparency in our community and its partnership with HPD. I look forward to hearing how we can move forward with this, with the city and Hercules Police Department. Thank you, Josephine Libunau. And that concludes that comment.
Thank you, Mr. Rope. Madam City Clerk, so are we done with the public comment? Is that the last one?
that was the last one, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank